of hard work from Nigerians in the past, and those hard work, the work of Nigerians who have, reached into their pockets of honesty and have, been very true to the cause that they believe in. We've seen that the years, posterity has always been kind to them, no matter how far we go into civilization, in quotes, as it is said, and no matter how we drift into the digital world, they cannot be removed from Nigeria's history. So yes, a legacy built on honesty, a legacy built on hard work, a legacy built on truth will not be erased regardless of how long it takes. And the same thing applies to those Nigerians who have set bad precedents, when given staff of authority in different spaces and time. And we have seen how time has made nothing of their work, because these work were not built these the foundation, they weren't built on something sustainable, because either as a result of their deceits or fraud, or dishonesty, lack of integrity, lack of transparency in office. So the list just goes on and on. So time has a way of proving those to come, even if the individuals themselves pass away. Time has a way of proving those who have done the good work, and also time has a way of fizzling out those who have done the dirty work, who have not been true to the cause of the Nigerian story and the world at large.
All right.
Okay. I don't even know where to start from, but I love the part where you say that time has a way of fizzling out those who have good impact to make and those who also have negative impact, right? Now let's look at it from a different perspective. Building a legacy. Let's look at the aspect of self-reflection.
Right.
Let's look at the part of self-reflection in building a legacy that would last long.
Interestingly, Holy Ray, the world we live in today is so noisy, right?
Okay.
We have people saying all manner of things. There is woke culture, there is computers doing theirs, there are Gen Zs and Gen Alphas and all of us, millennials, there is a lot of noise everywhere, right? And it is difficult for you to settle on what to do when everybody is speaking. And that is why you have to, at some point in your life, retreat and listen to yourself from deep within. And and that will only happen when you have moments of self-assessment and reflection. It's in those moments that you're able to what is the noise and what is the truth. What should I hold on to? And these are done when you have a foundation, right? You cannot build on nothing. Literally, as it sounds, it's difficult to build on nothing. For those who are into construction and stuff.
Yeah,
That also applies to every other thing else. So everything else, rather. So we have to learn to fizzle out the noise. And for us to be able to determine what noise is, we have to have a foundation. What are the values you are building in the little spaces you're in? You show up at work as at when you should. I show up by 7:30 and I'm signing into the register and I'm writing 7 a.m. I leave the office by 5 p.m. and I'm writing 6 p.m. because I know that's when I'm meant to leave the office. These are the little things that we do, but whether we pay attention to them or not, they are responsible for the wholeness of who you will become tomorrow. And if you cannot teach yourself to be disciplined enough, be honest enough, imbibe these values even when no one is watching, what happens when nobody is watching? And what happens when there's a lot of voices speaking? So it's important that we have a moment, to look at our lives and ask those really difficult questions. What do I want to be remembered for? Who do I want the world to see me when my name comes up? And by the world, I'm not saying come some of the most prominent figures in the world today, but I mean in your office space, in your house, in your family. can your siblings vouch for? Yeah, he has a temper. I mean, but he's working on it. We see him try. It goes down to the little basic things we we don't pay attention to. But these are things that are they are always very important. You can also move them around from the home space, self control from the home space, self control in the office space. From the these things they just you can translate them into something else. So we must learn to build a foundation that would help us sieve out noise when noise comes. We must have foundations that would help us determine, oh, this is wrong when the wrong thing shows up.
All right.
And until we're able to do this, we just would go with the tide. If Jack says go, you go. If Tom says go, you go. You are just all over the place and you are confused.
Joseph, there is a saying that if you cannot beat them, you join
You
them.
join them.
All right? And it appears that the system we have, no pun intended, but it is somewhat, it has been infused with a lot of dirt, from way back. So trying to sanitize the system right now is more like a tall order for
some
not
persons.
not just the youth who are willing, to bring about some sort of positive change,
Right.
and even some of the leaders. And when I
Yes.
say leaders, I'm talking about the political class, the religious, and even the traditional. And it also, trickles down to even these organizations that we have, who
Right.
actually have, shows like this just to reorient, the public. So, in a bid to uphold ethical standards, even when it is inconvenient or costly, I
Right.
mean, it's one would say that it's going to be something that is, it might not really bring about the desired change now,
Yeah.
but I don't know how long it's going to take. But from your own assessment and from the body language of almost everyone in the country at this point in time, because whether we like it or not, we have a selected few people who are still hell bent on ensuring that the right thing is done. So who is willing to inconvenience themselves just to bring about or to
Change.
even uphold ethical standards?
Yes.
Honestly, the truth is no good project is done easy. The general saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. The same way we've gotten it wrong, the same way we are where we are now, which is we are not exactly in the right place. It also started with one wrong act, one wrong action being covered, one thing being swept under the carpet, and it builds up. There is something that one of our leaders here in GSC would always say, and that negates the saying, if you can't
Beat them, you join them?
yeah, we don't do that, because it does not apply here. Because if you want to do that, you would not only betray yourself, because there's a lot of there are too many things that are now.
Okay.
So if you can't beat them, you join them. There are things you you cannot even imagine. So I still stand, by what I believe and what we believe in GSC, that the work has to be done, and we should do it whether it is popular or not. And even when it's not popular, we should know that sometimes the fruit from the tree, may not meet the person who planted the tree. There are certain trees that in our traditional or village settings, they are very economic trees that our grandfathers or great grandfathers planted.
Right.
But yet, yes, they are not here. But we, the grandchildren or great grandchildren, once it's season, we get to enjoy the hard work of these people. So I want us to move from the standpoint of seeing the result now, or standing to be politically correct, in the eyes of what is popular, what appears easy, what goes with the crowd now. We should dare to be different. And I know it's difficult. It is very difficult, and sometimes it is so easy to just put the words out there. But then you are planting the seed that your children, your great-grandchildren, will sit down in the nearest future and be grateful that you did. And that goes back to what I said earlier, that posterity will not erase such hard work. They have a way of, and regardless of how the world makes the wrong thing look appealing and popular, And by wrong thing, there are things we generally believe as wrong, regardless of race, tribe, all of that. And then there are things we, believe as right, regardless of, all of our, differences. So these are the things that, like, we know that dishonesty is wrong generally, whether it is as much as telling a lie as little as telling a lie at home, or it is as big as altering figures of funds or money given to you in big offices and stuff like that. These things are wrong in any light we look at them, but they are just in different levels and all of that. So we must learn to know what is wrong, because right now what is wrong is beginning to look like what is right. It's beginning to look like what we should do, but we should know that what is popular is not always what is right. And what is true may not always be popular, especially in our age and time. The truth is not so popular now anymore, because there are certain values the world is fast losing because of the fast-paced nature of our world today, and we must learn to see them for what they are. We have to look closely, and so we should learn to, instead of if you can't beat them, you join them. You should learn to swim against the tide, and it's very difficult to do that. Yes.
All right, this is National Core Value, Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. We'll just take a quick break to go pay some bills. When we return, the conversation will continue. And please bear in mind that our studio lines are very, very active. You can call in to be part of the conversation on 09073530044 or 09087668888. You can also send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal number on 090970544 and 50. Do join us again after this timeout.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Hello, Nigeria. Hello, Africa. Do you want to work in the healthcare sector? Do you want to be a trained, certified nursing assistant, medical assistant, or caregiver? If yes, then register to enroll for Push Africa's one-year diploma in certified nursing assistance training happening at the African University College of Science and Technology, Abuja. Targeted trainees are unemployed graduates, O-level or ordinary diploma graduates, or anyone interested in working as a support worker in the healthcare sector. For details, log on to www.pushafrica.org or WhatsApp 080-339-42015, 080-339-42015. For registration, pick up application form at our partner radio stations or visit the reception at the African University of Science and Technology, Abuja.
Eagles 3 Abuja.
Things they happen for our community,
Now I can recoup back all the money I have spent on this annoying family.
Yeah, that woman own don't finish.
My dear, let's go and greet them, okay?
Hey! Join Media Coalition and Awareness to hold trafficking, MICAS, on I Wish I Knew radio drama and program every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Join us to kick human trafficking out of our society. I Wish I Knew radio drama and program is brought to you by MICAS and funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
All right, we are back. Thank you so much for staying with us. If you are just joining us, this is National Core Values live on Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. And this is just a continuation. Last week, the conversation actually centered around ethics and values, the starting point to building lasting legacies, right? And we still have Ugo Joseph right here in the studios from the Generation for Societal Change. As I said before, are very much active. This conversation should be of utmost concern to you as a patriotic, Nigerian that you are, especially when you are one of those who are intentionally fighting and clamoring for, the right thing to be done, even when no one is watching. All right. So would really be very, very glad if you call in to make an input on this conversation that we are having. Once again, the numbers are 09073530044 or 09087668888. Send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal number on 090970544 and 50. You can also join the conversation live on YouTube and Facebook at Eagles FM Abuja. Well,
streaming.
Of course, and if you have anything you'd like to share as far as this conversation is concerned, you can also leave a comment, on those platforms. So far we've been able to talk about, self-reflection, consistency, and another thing that would come to mind is the courage. Because before we went on that break, I did say something about if you can't beat them, you join them. But apparently that is not an anthem for you guys at Generation for Societal Change.
Of course.
Right? So the ability to stand firm in your values, right, especially in the face of pressure to compromise, it's really, really not an easy task.
Right.
If you happen to be in the midst of 100 people and then you think that 99 others are doing the wrong thing like this, of course it's not going to be an easy task
At all.
and at some point in time, it becomes very, very tiring, very exhausting when you are, like a lone voice in the wilderness, trying
especially
to
when those ones are higher and it's just you.
How would you encourage or even advise the listener on the other side of the radio to build his or courage and confidence, especially when it comes to ensuring that the right thing is done?
Thank you so much, Efe. I'm going to make reference to what we talked about sometime last week. Yes, still last week.
Okay.
We're talking about certain Nigerian businesses and individuals or brands that have made such impact or name internationally. We talked about Paystack, Flutterwave, and Alinko Dakote.
Did you say Flutterwave?
Yeah.
Okay. Please continue. I will share with you off the microphone. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So these, we know there's this general notion that Nigerians are scams and stuff of that. A lot of people have this notion online.
Right.
Yeah.
And it also shows in immigration in different countries and how Nigerians are being treated in airports and stuff like that. But I made reference to how these businesses or these brands and individuals have built such a niche for themselves that even the global community trusts them totally with their finances, with their funds, with their investments. And that goes to show you that the same Nigeria that can't hire people from Nigeria currently internationally, it's the same Nigeria, but there are still products, systems, networks developed by Nigerians that are being used globally. So, yes, it takes courage to decide to do the right thing in a world or in a country where everybody seems to say something contradictory. But then it's not an easy task. It is not so easy, but it is possible for you to do what makes you sleep well at night. So there have been individuals who have amassed a lot of wealth in their life over the course of their maybe career, business, and all of that. And you find out that some of them are unhappy at the end of the day, maybe in retirement, some even while they are working. Suicidal rates are there have been instances where people who are deemed successful, people who are deemed to be doing very fine are ending it all or are depressed or wanting to. There is a vacuum that is so empty, so deep that the wealth and money and influence cannot fill. And so yes, the truth is, for someone who hasn't had maybe a certain amount of money or has not enjoyed a certain level of affluence, they may not even be able to relate to this. But then when the money comes in, that is when you realize that there is something that is still missing. And so that goes to prove that regardless of what everybody is doing, telling you to do, and if you want to experiment, okay, let me go by what is popular what he wants to do. Let's just do everything the way everybody wants us to do it. Something inside of you as a human being will prick you at night when the chips are down, when you shut the door, when all the noises, when you shut all of that away. Will you be able to sit with yourself, knowing that because of you, some children somewhere in the core north do not have access to drinking water, and then you see figures on national television or newspaper or media and all of that. Will you be able to sit with yourself that because of you, a hospital that is supposed to have certain facilities lost a certain number of lives, within a quarter of a year because of what you've done? Sometimes we strangle our conscience, and then we tend to behave like we don't have conscience. But when everywhere goes quiet, there is something that is present in every one of us that tells you the truth. Will you be able to sit with yourself, when all of this goes down? So yes, it is, everybody will tell you do this, do that, and what is popular is not exactly what is good. And then you have to muster a lot of courage to say no. Everybody is doing this in the office, and I know it's wrong, and I know it's not right. But the truth is, even when you don't do it, there are people who are, even amongst yourself, there are persons who will trust you with things. That when we're stealing, when we're doing this thing, James did not do this thing with us, Joy did not do this thing with us. So in the nearest future, they say, okay, who can you recommend that is honest enough to handle this project? Even among politicians, they don't trust themselves right now. Most politicians don't trust themselves. But if someone has distinguished themselves, in that moment it may not have been popular, but come tomorrow, once the need for an honest person, because nobody will want to put their money in a venture that they know they will lose, right? So you were in the office and you see that, okay, this person did not follow you to do something, and tomorrow you who was doing the wrong thing got promoted, and you need someone to occupy a very sensitive, confidential position. You won't think of the other persons who joined you in that thing. You will think of the one person who said no. Because you know that with the little they were entrusted with, without all of that attention, they were true to it. But the other persons, of course, you would not even dare, because you know that now we
I understand. But according to what Ife said, right, if you understand very well, and everything you've spoken about still circle within and around the same conversation. Now, how would you describe the duration of someone who comes to an office and notice that I am promoted to this new office, and in this office, this is what this is what I know, and this is what is supposed to be done, and I see that from all the records, none of that has been in place, and I have just resumed, and I want to set the record straight. How would you describe my duration in that office, in this contemporary Nigeria?
Okay, so first to understand why you got the job. What because before there's job description, right? You get the job description, so that's what outlines what you're meant to do, your responsibilities and all of that. So when you understand your job description, you know that, okay, this is what I'm meant to do, and you go by the records or the books, and you see that those before you weren't doing these things the way they were meant to. So what you are meant to do is, first, to clear yourself, you bring it to the notice of the management. This is what I came on board to meet. This is what I met. As at 1st of August, this is what I'm going to be doing, right? So in that way, the messes others have made will not be associated with you or to you as a person. And then you've also put yourself in a position where you are now accountable, because you've put yourself in the spotlight where everybody's looking at you. Let's see what you will do right. Let's see if you do the right thing. You've complained about, okay, let's say you inherited a lot of debts in an office where it took money. Now you have to expose all the kinds of, maybe they've got to get you auditors, and they audited the accounts and everything. Now you've exposed the things that were going on wrong. It also puts you in a way of check for yourself, because you are now aware that you are in the limelight, so to speak.
Right.
And as such, you are meant to you will be more careful with your duties. You would also it show them that I know what I'm here for. I am not part of the bandwagon. I'm not part of what is part of this is why I got here and this is what I'm meant to do. By the time you discharge your duty, your duties well, there is no moral or legal grounds that you'll be held, that nobody will come and tell you you were meant to do this, that was what your job description said, and you did it, therefore you'll be fired. The person has to be,
you and I know that this is really, really not possible. It's not easy.
No,
it's
it
not
is,
easy.
no, it is. It's
that
not
was
easy.
where Efe
Exactly.
talked about when your voice is alone. You remember?
Yeah.
She said when you are alone.
Yeah.
And in this, I don't want to go further, but as far as we are concerned in this country, the duration of that person in that office is limited.
You will not have a good name in that office. I agree.
Definitely,
some people will
because
hate
you're
you.
coming to do something that is not it's not their tradition.
Some people will hate you, but if you look at the people who are not even happy with what you are doing, they are not your employers. They could just be your colleagues. So would you rather please people who today, if the management says, okay, you have not been doing what you're meant to do, we found out that you've been stealing money and you've been doing this, those people will sack you. Would you rather please your co-workers just because that's how they've been doing it, than the people who brought you because they brought you in trust? So, sometimes we just...
Every other person that was brought
in
in there was also brought in trust.
Because it's... Yeah, they were brought in trust, yeah, but what are they doing? Because if you probe the actions of some of your co-workers, you know that they wouldn't have those jobs anymore. They do these things in secret, and once it comes to light, because it will certainly come to light at some point, once it comes to lose those jobs, So why do you want to... That goes back to saying, what is popular is not always what is correct, what is right. So yes, they are doing it. Yes, they are hiding behind,
So you should just be the different person, the unique you.
It saves you a lot of stress, honestly, because you have to tell lies upon lies to layer up, and then you can get so lost into it that you would shoot
That's
yourself
what I
in the leg
want
one
to
day.
get.
So yeah, it's not popular, but the popular things sometimes are not always true or
Definitely.
the right things to
Neither
be done.
all that glitters is gold.
Well, all right. So much to talk about here, with a lot to take in, and we're gradually, coming to the end of the conversation or the show this afternoon. But another thing to look at would be, service to others, where true legacies are often measured by the positive, difference made in others, lives. Yeah. So it's safe to say that you would want to encourage someone to start small and not necessarily looking at, like a crowd of people to try to bring about the positive change that we're talking about. But looking at our climb today, some people really have the very, very good intentions to bring about this change or changes that we're talking about. We tell you they don't have what it takes to really facilitate and even bring about that change. How best would you encourage them now, right, to, regardless of maybe the lean resources, because whatever you're doing right now, you are actually spending money to come here conversations and with the hope that people would actually have a change of mind and attitude at the end of the day. So for someone who does not even have as much as you do, how do you expect the person to bring about that positive difference in the lives of others?
Yes,
but they have the mindset.
Yeah. So the truth, like I said earlier on, let me move from the truth here. Like I said earlier, sometimes change, we view change as something that has to be, so enormous, so big, and all of that. Even with your parents or with your siblings, what can you do differently from that point? Yes, we know you don't have the resources to do the things you would want to do to, stir up change in your space, in the world you are in. But in the little, places, in the place where you're in, let's just say, let's come back to our household. Siblings, you're meant to do the dishes. What do you do when you go to the sink? Do you just soak the plates inside the water and bring it out because no one is watching? These are, do you say the truth when you are asked? Because are you doing the right thing? Because it is when you do what is wrong that will make you have to tell a lie. So start from that place. God forbid if that person leaves this world tomorrow, what the family would say about you. Maybe that's just the change you were meant to make in this world. Maybe just having to watch you leave may inspire a change even in the lives of a parent or your mom or dad. They've been doing the wrong thing all along for. But they see that my child, despite all the challenges, despite the limited resources he or she has had access to, they've been able to do this or that. It could just be just that one little thing, because the sad thing is we want to see it in a certain scale or in a certain light, but change it starts small. Just the same way you can spot someone who is acting differently from the 100. It could just be one person. The person has reduced the number to 99, whether we accept it or not.
Right.
So it begins with one person. It could be just what kind of a friend are you to your friend? What kind of a sibling are you to your siblings? What kind of a child are you to your parents? What kind of a classmates, work colleague? What are you in that office space? Are you someone who steps in and then everybody is relaxed, everybody is happy, everybody has something? You just bring it could just be an aura. It
That
could just
positive aura.
It could just be, I can trust my colleague to do this. I can. It's just anything, anywhere. So, yeah, it starts from anywhere, right? Until you are trusted with more, then you can do more. Start small. Start small.
Say to whom much is given, much is
expected.
Exactly.
All right. So legacies are not defined solely by what we build, but by how we build it.
Right.
So it's safe to say that it really won't be a good idea if you want to be in a hurry to build a legacy just to prove a point that at the end of the day it will not stand the test of time.
Yeah, exactly.
So take it, brick by brick, one step at a time. Lasting impact, in the lives of people around you. I never can tell where the good news would actually get to. Would actually get global.
Yeah.
And also, it's always very good that you try to make impact by yourself and not wait for people to tell you what to do. Even when they are doing the wrong thing, just try to do your own right thing in your little way that you can.
All right.
That's it.
Hugo Joseph from Generation for Societal Change. Thank you. It's always a pleasure discussing.
Thank you for
Thank
coming
you so much, Efe. Thank you so much, Holy Ray.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure to be on air with the both of you.
All right. So if you actually missed the conversation, you can hurry to our YouTube and Facebook, pages or channels if you like. Have a playback. Share the videos is very, very important, and also leave a comment. Our social media team will be more than glad to acknowledge your thoughts. My name is Omoefe Peace Osemere,
and I am Holy Ray, your media, the queen of media. I wanted to go and change my title this afternoon. I beg you.
Was it media teacher you were about to say?
No, I beg you. The queen of media. Thank you.
Right.